all around me. Family all around me. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. We are family. We might have the same last name, but that don't make you my family. Nah, I got some people with the same blood, and I know that they can't stand me. I got some people I call that ain't kin that's gonna pull up and handle it. They take care of that business like family. We come from them trenches like family. They talking, you listen, that's family. They don't tell your business, that's family. They calling your phone, coming looking for you. They say that you missing, that's family. They don't need permission, that's family. When you hurt, they can feel it, that's family. Let them come while you're cheering, that's family. Let them come when you living, that's family. Family all around me. Family all around me. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. We are family all around me. Family all around me. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. We are family. Hey, ain't nobody fighting around here. Ain't nobody shooting around here. Everybody that's around here, family. All love, no hate, be clear. No shade, all love, be real. You love them, you should know how it feel. Tired of all these badass kids. Tired of paying all these bills. Family going through the same thing, so they know exactly how you feel. They supply a shoulder I can cry. I provide a place where they can heal. Leave my money out, they don't steal. Let them have it if it's for a bill. Soldier for me when they in the field. Only way I live, family all around me. Family all around me. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. We are family all around me. Family all around me. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. He my family, she my family. We are family. We might have the same last name, but that don't make you my family. I got some people with the same blood, and I know that they can't stand me. I got some people I call that ain't kin that's gonna pull up and handle it. They take care of that business like family. We come from them trenches like family. Family all around me.
All right. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Most High bless. Most High bless. All right. Waiting on my brother to come in the room. He was having technical difficulties, so hopefully he'll be able to come in the room. It's been a long and tiring day, you know, but it's been a blessing day. You know what I mean? A real blessing day. Most High bless the bar. What's popping?
Yes, sir. Most High bless to the F.O.P.E family. Big shout out to Elder Qanath, Sharshim. We got Mika, Mighty Hebrew, Obadiah. All praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahawashi. And man, I think this is going to be another good one, man. You 2 for 2 today.
Yeah, 2 for 2, man. You know, 2 for 2. But you know what I find is not funny. Actually, that's what I'm about to say here. YouTube is really messing with us, man. Star and Lima, they hit me the other day, you know, on the phone, of course, and saying, you know, we're not even getting notifications. You know, people hit me saying they're not getting notifications. They done shadow ban our damn page. So, and then they're not giving us our proper views on here. I'm noticing that. But y'all just keep tuning in. May have to start switching over to other channels, but I'm about to create another channel. And you know what? I'm going to ask y'all. I'm actually listening audience, right? I got 2 names for it. Building a Black Nation, right? Or Vision of a Black World, right? That's the two titles I want to give it. You know, Building a Black Nation, Vision of a Black World. You know, and if anybody else got a better name, let me know. I'm gonna name the new channel that, right? And this channel is going to be people that I can trust. I'm going to vet you right? Where you will actually have the Shalom Obadiah. You will have the email address. What's up, Toy? Professor Lovely Lady. See everybody coming because they shadow banned us, but you will have access to the page, and you'll get to do shows whenever you want to do them. You just have to contact me, Shashan, or the bar, right? And Neftali, but most likely I'll be contacting me, and the people that I will give access to this. You'll have my personal number because I want to know what shows you want to do, and what topics, because I don't want that page to get shadow banned either, or taken down, So we're gonna do that channel, and it's going to be up probably next week or another 3 weeks, and we're going to do a GoFundMe because we're not playing. We're going to Africa.
That's right.
My brother here going in a couple of days. You want to talk about the trip, things that we plan on doing? A little bit by track because of the brother.
Absolutely. I would love to do that. So I'll talk about the trip real quick first. Shout out to Elder Don P. Shalom King.
Shalom.
But yeah, I'll go into it real quick. As I mentioned before to many people, and also on this platform, I am in this process of really just discovering ourselves before white supremacy. So going to different African countries, understanding the culture, the food, the people, I'm doing that like for real, you know what I'm saying? So going to and I'm not necessarily broadcasting it, or, I might maybe put up a few Facebook page image or Facebook images on my page, but I'm not trying to really bring it out there public because I'm really going there to learn, to understand and study. And on a bigger level, as we talked about many times in different classes that we had before, with everything that's going on with the wars, the rumors of wars and those things, the military drills, I think it's important that we collectivize, come together, and develop a F.O.P.E. repatriation project where we all come together as a collective and we find a way to be sustainable, not get out the matrix, okay, but be sustainable, producing and not consuming it, and find a place where we could collectively come together as a community and form what they call community economics. This is something that the Kingdom of Yah is very heavy into, and I think it's important for us to learn from them, use their wisdom, don't reinvent the wheel, and then execute for ourselves, and then have some strong partnerships with them. So that's what we're looking to do. And we've been having meetings. We're about to set up another meeting, and we got some really strong contacts. So we're getting ready to launch this thing, most high will, next year.
Most high will. And when I say contacts, I mean, we got great contacts. Some of the brothers will be on next week, my brothers from Africa. And like I said, we would want this to happen. Okay. You say the name should be Only the Redeemed. I just wrote that down. Again, we created another channel.
Ooh, I like that.
I like that too. Only the Redeemed, right? And again, for the people just coming on, I'm still waiting for the brother because he came on, but he's having technical difficulties. So I'm gonna reach out to him again. We already been on running 45 minutes late, 41 minutes late. But on the other channel, the people that I choose is going to have access to the channel. You can be able to do your own shows, right? On it, I don't care. Even if you advertising music, beautiful music, right? It could be a cooking show. It can be about politics, right? But it gotta be black.
That's
know
right.
What I mean? So and whatever you want to talk about, but you would have to contact myself, Shashan the Bar, or Neftali. But most likely because it's Mika. She like the sister that's over in Africa now that we talked to the Bar.
Oh yeah, that's not her.
It's not her, but she looked like her.
Yeah, she definitely favors the sister.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yeah, shalom. Yeah. So you would have, you had an email, you would have access to the channel to do your own shows. You know, we're going to vet you. You know,
yep,
to do this. And if you try to take over the show, then I'm going to clown the hell out of you.
That's right.
I'm going to make you look so bad in the YouTube land, you might jump. No, but I will. I'm going to clown the hell out of you. Something vicious. It's going to be Ventive Qanath. Right? Trust that. But do y'all believe Latinos are Israelites? Come on the show. The link is in the room. Let's talk about it. You know. But yeah. So again, put the whatever you want. If you a good name for the show right now, the two names I came up with is Building a Black Nation. What was the other one I said at the bar?
You said Building a Black Nation. I think it was a vision of something.
Envisioning a black world or something like
that. Yeah.
Yes. So those my two, you know. So somebody Simeon came up with only the redeemed.
That punch heavy right there. That sounds nice.
That's
man,
that's a good one, you know. So we waiting for the brother. I'm not Latino, I'm East Africa, but I'm just confused because I see different groups with different charts. Well, we don't believe in the chart.
Right.
You know, we don't believe in the chart. You know,
and Elder, let me just say something real quick. I mean, if you from the Bantu, many of the Bantu tribes are in East Africa. So when you study the history on Kenya and also the history on Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, pretty much all the countries in East Africa, you'll find out that there was a heavy Arab slave conquest. That was one, but there was also the British, right? The British colonizers. And you'll also see all kinds of things going on. But yeah, we could, you know, again, I wouldn't use the chart as a defining differentiator for whether you Israel or not. The chart is full of just really heresy.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt. Hey, I would like for you to come on because you from I'm from the Tigri tribe. I can't pronounce it right, but come on. Close to Beta Israel. Right. Come on and holler at us, man. Male or female. I mean, let's talk. You know, because I'm still waiting for brother to come on. You know, let me call him and see what's happening. And I'm gonna let y'all hear me call the brother. All right. See what's going on here. But come on, the link is in the room. The link is in the room. You know, but go ahead, Doc. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you good, Elder. But yeah, there's a lot of just misinformation and disinformation about Mexican. You know, the word Mexican is a very interesting word. It's the best word for it is mestizo. And
hold on. Hey, we live now, brother. You still trying to figure it out?
Yeah, I just had to switch my device, so I'm gonna hook up from another device.
Oh, okay. Hallelujah. Okay, so we waiting on you then. The link should still be in the room. Just press the link, then I'll let you in.
Yes, sir.
All right. Go ahead, DeBar, what you were saying?
Yes, sir. So I'm gonna be real quick. So
take your time.
The word Mexican is it's a misnomer. It's kind of like a bridge to nowhere, right? So, but the real word for Mexican is mestizo, and that in Spanish means mixed race. So when you read Deuteronomy 23:2, the Most High has a controversy with mixed races. All right. So that's why indigenous Mexicans, they span two things. They span either our people or they span what they call the Polynesian races, which are Mongoloid, right? So it's a lot of stuff about that, but yeah, you know, there's a learning curve to all of this. And I'll say this too, Lion of Judah. If you hear some of the Israelites bashing Africans, it's just really ignorance. You have to understand too. I'm pretty sure you're aware of it, but there was a lot of anti-African propaganda in the West. So many of these people are just regurgitating what they learned from TV, which we know is still white supremacy at the end of the day. So as we continue to educate, you know, there will be a deeper appreciation of Africa, because most of us, when you look at our ancestry, most of us, all really the Israelites in of itself, we have African DNA in us. And what I mean by that is Shemitic Israelite DNA, but in the continent of Africa, because some people get caught up with that word Africa.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
And also the brother, whoever thou may beeth, said you hear a lot of negative stuff about camps talk about Africa, right? But that's, everybody's not saying that. We're one of them. Our last show we done about 2 hours ago.
Yep.
Brother from was it Uganda?
Angola. Yep.
Angola.
Mm-hmm.
Angola. He was on the platform, him and his two wives. You know,
Yep.
Very interesting conversation. It was great bill. Bill is like a great conversation, you know, and we actually looking forward to meeting him. We have contacts in South Africa, Zambia, Tanzania, Ghana, Kenya. What else, Navarre? What other place?
Man, we got so many contacts.
Yeah.
Zimbabwe,
right? All over. So, and what if you let us know what country you in and get up here on this live, right? And then we have another one we could build, you know. But
yeah,
sometimes comments, people are not who they say they are. So you please come on the platform.
Yeah, you know? let me address this one comment too. Like, I don't know. I think there's some miseducation going on in the chat too. So it's not up for debate whether Polynesians are of the Mongoloid race. That's not racist. That is scientific and genetic substantial facts. And we have books that we're going to bring out. We just haven't, you know, we've been focusing on other projects, but we have books that when you examine the DNA of many of the bones, the remains of the so-called indigenous natives here in America, they trace all the way back racially to the Polynesians, which they also would classify them. And then when I say they, I'm talking about European scientists.
Time out real quick. Hey, if you scroll up, the links should still be in the room. If not, the bar, if you could put the link back in the room for me. Okay, there it is. Yep. All right, go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish the thought. So, European scientists have
in the room. If not, the bar, if you could put the link back in the room for me. Okay, there it is. Yep. All right, go ahead. Finish what you're saying. Yeah, I'm gonna finish the thought. So, you got two screens open, bro. You got to close one screen first.
Yep.
If not, the bar, if you could put the link back in the room.
Yeah,
you got two screens open. Echo. You got two screens open.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish the thought.
If you're on your laptop, look up and you're gonna see close one screen. So live video and you're gonna see the so close the screen.
And in the meantime, Elder.
There it is.
Okay, there you go. Yep, perfect. Yeah, so I'm gonna finish the thought because we got our guests here, and I want to show respect to our guests. But yeah, if you just do the research, you'll find out that the Polynesians and those who are classified as the indigenous natives, those people are being classified by white scientists as being a part of the Mongoloid race. They also can trace their bone structures, and that's getting into forensic anthropology, but we could talk about that later. So without further ado, Elder, let me turn it back over to you, and we can move forward with the program here.
All right, most high blessed to my guests. You know, we say shalom. You know, Islam, shalom. You know,
shalom.
It's great to have you here, my dear brother. F.O.P.E stands for our people edification, to be edified in the spirit of truth and knowledge, and more so to come together as a people like the Most High ordered us to do. You know, he said, gather yourself together. Yea, gather yourself together, O nation not desired. You know, we also, I think that's Zephaniah 2:1. In Psalms 130, was it 33 or 133? It talks about how good, how good and how pleasant for brothers to dwell together in unity. You know, so that's what we're about, man. Dwell together in unity. But we're not just about talking about it, man. We like being about it. And we know it takes time. But we also see how the wicked, right? They don't try hard, but they try, and they building kingdoms, right? And we're being leeches and not building anything, but we just fight and killing one another, right? So the scriptures also talk about some say to Israel and not Israel, and some claim to be their brother and not your brother, you know. So hey, what we here, man, we about building together, man. So we in contact with our most brothers. This is not nothing new in the sun. This has been done before. It works, and sometimes it don't work. You know, it's up to the individuals, right? And we don't believe in taking a paintbrush and paint all Israel the same, painting all Moorish the same, painting all Muslims the same, and quite frankly, painting all Christians the same. You know, we all not monolithic in this walk. You know, we have different schools of thought, like my dear sister Neftali say. You know, new school of thought. You know, so hey, my dear brother, welcome to the program. Welcome to the program. Before we get into questions and answers, how about introducing yourself and tell the public who you are and what you're about? You know, and we'll move forward from there.
Islam, can you hear me?
Islam, yes, brother.
Right. Islam, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to rise, giving all thanks and perfect praises unto Allah, the great God, Almighty, eternal, incomprehensible, the causeless cause and rootless root from which all things have grown. I like to stand highest honors to the Holy Prophet, Noble Jew Ali, stand honors to his forerunner, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and extend honors to the show and the panel and all of the listening audience. Islam, shalom. I'm Sheik 7 Islam L. I'm Grand Sheik of a local branch temple of the Moorish Science Temple here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I've been in the Moorish Science Temple of America since about 2014. It's most definitely been a great walk. I've been through several schools of thought. What I'm about is uplifting fallen humanity, period. In whatever way, shape, form, or fashion that it may be that would be pleasing unto the Most High. So that's what I'm about. Of course, I do use the venue of the Moorish Science Temple of America. That is the my foundation. But I do study in different areas. I'm also a student at the Mighty Hebrew University, soon to be an instructor there. Working towards an accredited PhD there. So salute to that brother. Shalom to the Mighty Hebrew. So in a nutshell, that's what I'm about, uplifting fallen humanity. I'm also an author, an owner of a clothing brand, and a musician. So yeah, that's what I'm about.
Okay, well, let's take it. Let's knock this out the box right away. What's your clothing brand? What is it? What is it about?
My clothing brand is called Muslim Life. Muslim Life is my intention behind developing and creating Muslim Life is that I noticed that in this era, a lot of people are into urban clothing. However, a lot of urban clothing didn't have a Moorish message or a Moorish presence. So therefore, I created Muslim Life to basically bring an urban, a Moorish feel to an urban presence. If it makes any sense.
Oh, no, I get it. I get it. Yeah. So how will people be able to buy the clothes?
I'm getting my website reconstructed at this point in time. It should be up within the next couple of days, and we'll have that up and I'll basically share it to you so you can make sure you can share it to all of your followers and your audience.
Oh, no doubt, man. We would do that for sure. Just keep it. I would just say blow the messenger up sometime because I'll be busy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, blow it up sometimes, man. And this platform is pretty much we know about the Moorish. I mean, this is nothing new, you know. So we don't really have to go into that necessarily, you know. Let me say something real quick. Most High bless Rashad. I see Midwest Judah. Again, Most High bless everybody in the chat. You know, Rashad, long time. I can't say that name. I just say Franklin. Most High bless you. You know, again. So let's get into what I say. Like my grandma would say, the nitty gritty of it all, right? Because we're trying to come in some type of unity, right? So I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions, and the bar might have a couple of questions for you in building. So my first question, I would say, what is the relationship between Moorish Americans, right, and the Hebrew Israelites in your perspective, and how do you see us coming together?
First and foremost, allow me to make this statement because I made this statement before amongst the family. We're at a point right now, it's unity or die.
That's right.
That's right. Yep.
That's just it. We're at that point. It's either unify or die. So the connection between the Moorish Americans and the Hebrew Israelites. First, I would like to go back into ancient times to Boaz and Ruth. We can't forget that biblical narrative. I think we all know about that biblical narrative. Therefore, conjoining the bloodlines of the Moabites and the Israelites through the union of Ruth and Boaz, and through that union, you know, and the dispersion, you know, the reproduction of children, the etc., the continuation of the bloodline. You have us, you know, in a nutshell, without going into all the details, etc. First and foremost, I think in coming together, what we must do first and foremost is have a respect for each other and allow ones to be themselves. In our communities, I feel as though in too many places, we tend to attempt to force our narrative upon another person. And in Islam, number one, there's no compulsion in religion. So therefore, there should be no compulsion in any of these areas. I feel as though as long as we approach these things respecting each other's perspective, respecting each other's perception, as long as everything is grounded in righteousness and it doesn't infringe upon our connection and our understanding to the Most High, that would be the nucleus. And then finding the similarities, because us as a people I see tend to look at the differences a lot. They like to point out differences instead of finding the similarities and building there, you see. And I feel as though that finding our similarities, standing on that, and then what do we all want and need? Let's get to that point. Everyone needs food, clothing, shelter, and it takes finance to uplift a nation. Therefore, we must be self-determined. We must be autonomous in a sense. And we all need food, clothing, and shelter. So therefore, first and foremost, what comes to mind is land and resources. So we need land and resources. And once we stand on those principles right there and understand that we all have a common enemy and we all have a common need and a common want, I think that's where we should start, in my humble opinion.
Beautiful. I just want to applaud the brother. Number one, let me tip my hat off to you, my brother, and say Shalom or Islam. I appreciate what you said, my brother. That was heavy. I want to just kind of say it in my own words. And I agree 100% with you. Our collective interest has to be priority over our philosophical or religious differences or our religious sets. We have to understand as a people that our common good has to be the priority. And other races, they do this. And
Yes, sir.
I want to throw this out here too. We need to be tolerant of the diversity amongst our race as a collective people. Like, be tolerant. Like, we don't have to force someone to convert. Let that be a spiritual thing. Let that be something that someone is led to. But my brother, I just tip my hat off to you, because this is something that I think a lot of us are seeing. We do have a common threat. We do have people who wish to destroy our existence off the planet. And I think it's time for us to unify and think about us, not in the individual sense, but in the collective sense. But go ahead, Elder Qanath.
Yes, I agree with both of you brothers, 1,000%. And of course, we're going to talk about some of the things we have in common, but we didn't have these shows before, but I want this to also turn into a show of solutions. And two things I know that we have in common, and this should be the most, or three things that we have in common, and we should start with these three things to shut that shit down. And one of them that we don't like is that we have in common is the barrel of a white man's gun, right? We all have that in common, right? The barrel of a white man's gun. And so we got to shut that shit down, right? Another thing we have in common is they take it and raping our women. Okay? We got to stop that shit, right? Meaning we got to shame our women, right? And we got to shame our men, okay? Because the black nation that's becoming a mixed nation is a nation no more, right? Now, we're not saying to separate from your wives and your husband right now. It is what it is, right? But we have to start someday, right? I've seen shows where, especially the women, I'm sorry, because we know the men doing it now, and the women started doing it, saying, well, there's nothing wrong with it, right? There's nothing wrong with it. Now, here's my problem with it, right? Is that if you mix, we mix out. There is no more black nation. There is no more Israel. There's no more of that, right? We become a damn mutt, right? Who go buy a mutt, right? You want something purebred, right? You want a purebred dog, right? So we need to come up with solutions. Yeah, we know we need land. We know we need clothes. We know we need water. We know we need this, right? We know we need health care, right? The solution is we got to get the people who know how to build, right? And plant on land. We need people who know about different herbs and medicines, right? We need people who know how to politic, right? Who know how to break deals for us, right? And sometimes we got to learn how to, what they say, enemy of my enemy is my friend. Sometimes we got to deal with people that's our enemy to get to our true enemy, right? Sometimes we got to partner up with people who may be uncomfortable with, right? So one thing I do notice or have noticed, they have shut us down through religion and philosophy, right? So we got to break down the walls, right? So when people talk like this, man, there should be no one leader, because we learned through trials and tribulations, if they kill one, you got one leader, then it shuts down everything, right? Malcolm X, boom. Martin Luther King, boom. But you think about these people, they get rid of them, they get rid of us all as a collective, right? But if we station ourselves throughout the world, right, then we become that redeemed people, like the brother said. We become that black world, that black nation. And we have to set back them things where we're dealing with pride and want to be the chief, right? Want to be the chief. So I'm going to ask my dear brother, what do you think is the first solution, right? We know about the talk, but I'm talking about how do we do it? You know, we have our way. So what is the Moorish temples around America and the world doing to unify the black man and black woman around the world today?
In my humble opinion, pardon me. In my humble opinion, the first thing we have to do is start at home. We got to start at home. And as we look into our communities, not zeroing in on any specific group, just us as a collective people, that we see that this collective consciousness is in a lot of situations, not even at home. It's not even embedded in home. So many brothers are in organizations or in groups that I would say propagate these particular degrees, but yet and still, is it instilled into the minds of their spouses and their children in their homes? Is it embedded in their homes? And a lot of times it's not. You know, these particular groups are used as social groups, just a place to come get your feel good feeling, you know, and then disperse back out into the world and continue to be the savage that you were when you walked in. So therefore, I think this needs to start first in our homes. It's instilling these principles and these degrees of understanding and wisdom in our homes, standing on it there, and then dispersing out into the community. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught the Moors to stay close together. You know, that means to stay in a respective and say, so allow us to think about it in the infrastructure of local government, right? He told us to stay close together. That means stay in each county you have districts. So we need to be in the same district so we can take control of the political landscape for these particular areas. There's strength in numbers, you know. So the first thing like I said, is to start at home. It's to steal these things and really get them embedded and make them a foundation within our homes. And then from that point, I think that we should, as a people, those who have like minds, need to come together, learn to conglomerate, and let's live close together and learn that and take control of the political landscapes and the financial landscapes of the particular jurisdictions that we stay in, you know, and that's very possible because the Prophet Noble Drew Ali was doing it in 1928, and I don't see how or why we wouldn't have that type of power or have that type of influence in these days and times. So in my humble opinion, I think, you know, start at home, and then let's grow a love for each other enough where we will want to stay around each other. Right, you see what I'm saying? I hear in so many situations where brothers and sisters wouldn't even want to stay in the same area as each other. But however, we must understand that these things that we're talking about are not necessarily for us. Too many people these days in this science, they're focused on themselves in the right now and not focused on the fact that we are raising children to have future generations that are going to come up and have to live in the mess that we are existing in today. And we should have a lot more appreciation, a lot more care, a lot more love for our children to want to create a better today and a better tomorrow.
Let me land me back on that or vegan back. Go ahead, the bar. You want to say something? Go ahead.
Man, I just tip my this is refreshing to hear, you know, because I tip my hat to the brother, and what he said was absolutely right. You know, for too long, the Greco-Roman ideology here that we get, aka white supremacy, has taught us to be individually interested. And the problem with being individually interested is it's too narrow in scope. And so if you making it, cool, but what about my brother and sister? And I'm gonna say this too. There used to be a time, and I think Elder Qanath, you can co-sign on this, when Black communities had their own Black businesses, right? I think that was one of our first failures as a collective community. Now we're allowing all the races to come into our neighborhoods and to benefit from our hard-earned money, our blood, sweat, and tears, and we're making them rich. And they don't reinvest in the community whatsoever. They are takers, right? So we have to begin to change our relationship with these businesses in our stores, because I can tell you right now, you can't come to Chinatown and try to set up a barbershop or something like that, right? You can't do that. You know, you can't come up in the I'm gonna say Ashkenazi community. You know, we gotta be careful what words we use. So I'm gonna say you can't go into the Amalek communities. Y'all know what I'm speaking in code. Y'all know who I'm talking about, though. You and set up your businesses in their communities, right? So why is it that we as a race of people are so tolerant of other races, even to the extent that they invest nothing. And all we do is consume, which means that we largen the pockets of other races, but we don't help ourselves. But go ahead, Elder Qanath. I just wanted to make
Yes, and I want to make a comment to my dear brothers in the chat, right? Because I like what you said too. I agree with both of you brothers, but I'm a lammy back or vegan back on that. Then I'm gonna comment to my dear brother Prince Jerusalem Ben Yisrael. And you're right, it starts at home, and part of start at home is education, right? Educating our children, because see, we can start at home, but we keep sending our children to these schools of thought or these lies in the school system, right? Where it teaches our children to hate each other, right? Or separate from one another. If you think about the black family, man, when the child get older, they move from New York all the way to California, Alaska, some damn where, right? We separate, or we live in the same community and don't know your neighbor next door. You know, you might know their first name, but 9 times out of 10, you know their nickname. You know, so we have to start there in schools, right? So, and then once you do that, we have to give the children something to have goals. You know what I mean? Have goals, right? Because just we raise a child at home, but actually, what are we teaching them? We know it starts at home. What are we teaching them? So to teach children at home, the main thing we're missing, we have to have the father in the home, right? And we have to let the woman let the man be the damn man. And I'm gonna stop saying that word let. Men, stop asking the woman, let you be the man. Just be the damn man. All right. So to my dear brother, Prince, you know, we live in the same city. So I'm gonna read your comment. We want blood. We don't want peace and love and all that. Well, I agree with you to a certain degree, but anybody could be a vigilante. Vigilantes die, right? People run solo, die, right? If you don't have plans, right, to do anything and just run out there and get a gun, you can't be the man that can hit you from 3,000 miles away, right, with a missile you don't see coming, right? You can't be the man that all you see when you look up in the sky and the plane look like a star. It's so damn high the bullet can't hit. He just drop a bomb down on you. You can't be the man that can roll up in your neighborhood with tanks and dogs and water hose, right? You can't be the man with that. You can't be the man with rocks, right? You can't be the man with a gun, right? And you run out of bullets, right? And there's no store to go get it, right? We have to think rational and more smarter than that, man, right? Our people have tried that, right? We have to build a nation. And one part of building a nation is getting out of this nation, right? We are a nation inside a nation, right? And once we start thinking about that, right? If you're a soldier, right? If you want blood, right? Then let somebody train you how to be a soldier. Right now, we don't have the force to fight like that, right? But we can be a soldier and teach survival, right? We can be a soldier, show our children how to feed one another, right? So I get it. Blood, that's fine, bro. That's fine. But we don't have the numbers for the blood. We don't have the material to fight no damn body. We have to unite first, right? And one part of uniting is not coming on a common board. We try to come up with solutions, right? This is the problem, right? One of the curses in the Bible talks about your eye should be evil to give me that the bar. Your eye should be evil towards your brother. So right now we trying to build something with my brother here that's in Charlotte and the Moorish temples around the world, right? With solutions, right? And break down the division of religion, right? And come up with something that's tangible, right? Building something. Getting land, and we're gonna get into that, right? But it's this brother interview that we're going to more of that, you know. But I'm gonna pass the mic back to you. So outside of school, my dear brother, outside of school, and we know it takes also a village to raise a family. It always been like that with me, you know. So how do you see the Israelites again in the Moors coming together outside of religion? We have to make a step. I think this is one step. So let's use us two as an example, right? What's the first two steps you and I, or the second step? This is the first one. the second step that you and I need to do as brethren?
I pretty much, I think we both know what we need, because we both need it. We, as a people, we both need the same thing. You know, we're both striving for the same things. And however, I think we, as a people, understanding that I'm a part of the Moorish diaspora and you're a part of the Hebrew diaspora, I think we should, the first thing we should do, if it was me and you, was to come together and sit down and speak about the wants and the desires of us as a people, and find and find a middle ground and devise a plan of execution. So many times, what happens in our communities is that though we are all the same people, we all have different approaches to life, our perspectives, our perceptions. So again, I think it's pertinent that we as a people come together and understand our wants and desires as a people. Because you may want a particular thing, I may want a particular thing, and if I neglect my acknowledgement of what you want, somehow along the way, the wires will get crossed and things may not come into fruition in this proper way. So I think collectively, you have an interest, we have an interest, and I think we should all come together and place our wants and our desires and our interests on the table, and then work from there. Find out how we can develop a plan of execution, because see, the execution is always going to be the most pertinent thing. How we execute, because we in this war that we're in, we don't have many chances of throwing and missing, because there are lives at stake here. So if we can't hit the reset button and bring our people back to the plane of things made manifest, I think, you know, the execution and how we execute is very pertinent. But first, let's get to a point of understanding what we desire and what we want. We already know our needs. We know what we don't have. I mean, that's very pertinent. We don't have schools. We don't have, you know, things. We don't even have to go into what we don't have. However, we need to find out what we want and what we desire as a people. Come together there, figure out a strategic plan, and execute.
Well, I'm gonna share some of my plans to you right now, live on F.O.P.E. for our people edification, right? To unite the brotherhood, right? The brotherhood, okay? Because when I see you, right, I probably have on an army fatigue, right? I might just have some blue jeans, right, and a wife beater. You know what I mean? So we can meet each other as two black men, right? Mm-hmm. And one of my plans, brother, you in Charlotte, right?
Yes,
and I used to stay down in Chester, South Carolina, pass through Charlotte all the time before it became the big city it is now, right? Yes, and one plan I have, right, and I think most of us should try to execute, like you said, this plan, right? One, we want to move out of this place, right? Because only a dog walk in his own shit. You know what I mean? You know, but a cat will bury it because it stinks, right? But we want to keep walking in it, right? A magnet will swim around in it, right? A bird more smarter than us, he would take his behind and he won't do it in his own nest, right? But we shit in our own nest, right? The black neighborhood is probably the dirtiest neighborhood, right, in the United States. You're gonna see bottles, weeds every damn where, right? Cigarette butts every damn where, drawers, right? You're gonna see everything in a black neighborhood, but you go to other neighborhoods, right? It's clean, right? So we come together, you and I, being like-minded, right? And the reason why I reach out to people like yourself is because you belong to something that I know is positive for your people, right? We may be coming in different approaches, right? And so I'm not saying drop what you believe in, but we come together because you're trying something that's for your people. So here go my plan, brother. One is to get the hell out of here, but we have to have some place, right, to start because it's hard for us, right? How can I try to get land here and I can't pay my damn rent, right? I'm living check to check. You know, I got a car note. I got a credit card debt. I got a school loan debt, right? So now if we have a place down in Charlotte, North Carolina where you stay, my dear brother, you know, I see you have a school down there. You know, you may know the landscape more better than we do, right? And getting cheap land. So I said, you know what, brother, I can bring 15 or 20 people, right, that we're going to vet. You bring 15 or 20 people you're going to vet. I vet your people, you vet my people, right? And we buy maybe 5 acres, right? And we put something on it. Now that land is not there to be permanent. It's to transition to see who got the balls, right? To work on land. Then they will go to Africa. And then you stand on this land, right? To save, right? Because now you're getting land 15 acres, 20 acres, right? People coming together paying $3-4 a month for that land and build yourself a little tiny home on it. If you have to, man, we got to go back, like we say, Egypt, right? You may have to live in a damn tent, right? You may have to really be in the wilderness for real, right? I'm willing to give all. I live in a nice place, right?
Yes.
They would call my shit MTV Cribs, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
You know, but I'll be willing to do that, right? So we could transition. My brother Mighty Hebrew, he said, "Hey, I'm out of here," and went to Tanzania, right? Ron Dalton, he went to South Africa, right? We going over there by the thousands, right? But some of us can't make it there because we don't have it. You know, we have the elderly, right? Some people are physically challenged, right? So we have to set up something to start with. So my hand is reaching out to you, right? As an Israelite, right? Or to my Moor brother, but I'm gonna pull back that and reach out to you as a black man with my hand out and say, you know what, let's come together, like you say, sit down and go over some contracts so we can start that, right?
Yes,
and have them protect the land, build on land, right? Learn how to farm and all that, then we can transition that, right? Over to Africa. That's one of my plans. You can land me back on that or vegan back on that if you like. Or DeBar, you want to say something real quick?
Yeah, I'll jump in here.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so real quick, I like that plan because again, we have to meet the needs of the people where they are. And again, just as you articulated, someone like, you know, pulling a Mighty Hebrew move, shout out to that brother as well, Shalom Prince, that might not be economically feasible. So we have to provide solutions for our people. You know, we cannot be narrow focused. So if we have sort of like a compound, if you will, or land, you know, some acres where we can start to develop our collective interests and at the same time have a joint project where we're transitioning people from the diasporan life to more of a native born African style life, or, you know, what we've ancestrally knew, you know, before we were over here as property. I think that's a good plan because again, the biggest problem that we face in this country is number one, they ripped us from our culture and our heritage. They instilled a false morality that pretty much works for our perpetual destruction. So for me, it's like if we could get away from that, that would be a solution too. But in the meantime and in between time, having maybe a pit stop to where you stop right here and then you get to the ultimate place where you want to be, which is being in a country where you don't have to feel like you're tolerated. You don't have to feel like you're a problem because of the melanation of your skin or because of your quote unquote false social status saying you're African American or black. You know what I'm saying? But anyhow, I don't want to go too deep on that. But I'll turn it over to one of you brothers.
Go ahead, Art. You can speak on it because both of y'all, I feel like we're in a bad relationship. You ever heard? I'm sure y'all heard this, right? A woman getting beaten in a bad relationship. And they say, "Why are you still that man beating the hell out of you? Why are you still in that relationship?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, you know why they in it? Because they're used to getting beat.
There you go. That's us.
They used to getting beat, and then they say, "Well, I know he beat me, but he loved me," right? So that's what we're saying right now. America beating the hell out of us, but we still think they love us, man.
That's right. Hey, said Stockholm syndrome. That's right, sis.
Allow me to say this. First and foremost, those who look like me, melanated, there's no place, and I say this boldly, there's no place on this planet Earth that we don't own.
Exactly.
Nowhere. We are the indigenous people in every part of this planet. Everyone.
True.
So therefore, I support the idea or desire to go to Africa for whomever desires that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for it. However, I'm also all for those who feel that staying here and staking claim to, or striving to stake claim to a portion of what belongs to them here. I support that also. So the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, Moors, you are at home. He also informed the Moors that we stayed along the Mississippi River thousands of years before the European even thought to come here. So my point in saying that is that we do have our stake here. And I am adamant about both staking our claim here and abroad because we are a global people. Period. We're a global people. So I'm for both, establishing here and abroad. Because my ancestors, my forefathers, were the lords of the seven seas. We were master navigators. We circumnavigated this planet. Better yet, the universe. So yes. I feel as though Africa, and shout out to Mighty Hebrew, my brother Mighty Hebrew. That's a very beautiful brother. That's a very strong brother. He's been very, very supportive of me as I've been very supportive of him. And we're going to continue to do that. But yeah, I am very adamant about both perspectives. So I don't have a point where I draw a line and say I'm more this way or more that way. However, the Moorish Science Temple of America is a legally and lawfully organized organization here in the United States of America, which has the power to go abroad. So the Moorish Science Temple of America is, in essence, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. First thing he did was organize. Before he filed anything, he organized. And what we should do is organize, and organize our desires and our perspectives, and then send them in this proper way. But yeah, I am with because as I told Brother Mighty Hebrew that I do plan on staking my claim on in Africa as well as here, So yes,
Well,
I'm for that.
And you know what, man, just real quick, and I'm glad to hear that answer because now that tells me that I know you brothers and sisters will be setting up land bases where brothers can have refuge and sisters can have refuge, right? If they choose to make that pilgrimage to Africa. And Most High bless the chat, Oracle, King Judah, Mighty Hebrew, Naphtali. Most High bless y'all. And Oracle say, I want to visit Tanzania, I don't want to flee one beast into another, and I agree. But I like what the brother said. The world belongs to us also. So let's go on that because I like reasoning. So I think that's a great idea too, because we both saying the same thing in the essence of, okay, we have brothers who are indigenous and sisters that are indigenous to this land. I know that. And the ones that feel that way should stay and fight. Because I know wherever we go, we will have to fight. That's just a fact.
Yes, that's a fact.
You know, where we go, we have to fight. You know, and some of us are not running, you know, just tired because what we believe in also that the book tells us, you know, and we have done this before, we travel to different lands, right?
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
if from in Africa, right? We travel from different places here in America. We will flee the south to come up to the north. You know, so we did travel, right, throughout all the lands of the Americas and throughout the whole world. We always travel, right? They will say migration, you know. So I'm on board with you in the aspect. Okay, let's reason. Okay, my dear brothers, that's Moors. You getting this land together, right? You're dealing in the court system. You fighting. Okay, so if you're doing that, then maybe we can help. Also, the Israelites and the Moors help get the land where we can say, okay, now can we rest our head here? Also help you build, right? But rest our head here so we can take money and resources and build someplace else. Guess what? Not just for us, but for you too. When you want to travel and you will have a place to rest your head in safety and comfort, right? To the best of our ability. So, the bar, you want to land me back on that?
Yeah, I guess I'll jump in real quick. I like what we're saying. You know, I think we're really, you know, going to the drawing board and you know, coming up with this strategy, because I like what the brother said. You know, we got to really sit down and understand what our plan will be and then execute. You know, I look at this, not that I'm in favor of one or the other, but I'll say this, that, and maybe my brother, you can educate me on this as well. Our political status in this country, you know, when you're calling yourself a color or African American, I know the noble Drew Ali has some words on this, you know, and I would like you to educate maybe our audience on this. But our political status in this country is one in which I think if we're going to bunker down and stake claim here, I don't think we can do it with the current social construct of calling ourselves Black and African American, because those political terms mean certain legalities and certain rights. So can you talk to us about that for a second? Because I think that is the biggest challenge we have. If we're going to navigate thriving here, we can't do it as Black or African American, because they can always look at us as less than human, 3/5 of a person, or a second-class citizen. So can you talk to us about that?
Shalom. Yes. It's first and foremost, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught the Moors that according to all true and divine records, there is no Negro, Black, or color attached to the human race. Meaning that before a particular time, we weren't known as such. In law, let's talk about law, all right? Nationality is the quality of character that arises from the fact of belonging to a said nation or state, especially in reference to allegiance, right? Quality and character, it speaks a lot about a person. That is the essence of nationality. However, this Blackness, allow me to say this to everyone in the chat. You can call yourself what you want to in the shower. That's something that our brother Sharif Ani Al-Bay said not too long ago. He said, you can call yourself what you want to in the shower. However, when we're talking of political status, citizenship is a political status. And Black, according to science, as the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, is death. It means death. It not is death, it means death. Now, being black It's not a nationality. It's an adjective. It's a descriptive verb. It's not a noun. A man or a woman is a person, place, or thing. So therefore it cannot be an adjective. And how you can't define a particular term by its description. You have to define it for what it is. So black in political science is equivalent to civilis mortis, to be dead in the eyes of the law, or nullius felix, a child of no one. Meaning that this particular name doesn't attach you to a nation or state, or does not bind any nation or any lawful person to any law that they have to respect you. This name black alludes to slavery. Yes, slavery. Let's investigate the word. Okay, we have the Portuguese, we have the Spanish who use this word negro, right? Negro in Spanish means black. We have a lot of people who say, well, I ain't no Negro. I'm not this, and I'm not no Nigger, and I'm not no Negro, but yet and still, you still define yourself to a word that alludes to the same state of servitude. See, blackness in this sense is not describing a person, it's describing a condition. It's describing a certain level of condition in which one is looked at in the eyes of the law. So we have what is called a social standard. And at times, the social standard seems to trump law at times. Because in this society, we're all, according to the motto of the United States of America, we have this motto is written in Latin, but the meaning of it means out of many, one. Meaning out of many nations and tribes of people, we conglomerate and make one nation of people, which is also which we are known today in this particular land as American. But however, what type of American are you? That's a very blanket, ambiguous statement. What type of American are you? Being that America is a supercontinent, and on this continent, we have many people from many different nations. Now we have to define what type of American are you? Because that right there gives me the ability to know how to treat you, how to respect you, how to go about being in peace and in harmony with you. You have Russian Americans, you have Chinese Americans, you have Moorish Americans, you have Hebrew Americans, you have all different types of Americans. So we must be able to identify with what type of American we are. Also, if we talk about the continent of Africa, it's over 50 different nations on the continent of Africa. So to say that I'm an African would be a very ambiguous statement. It's not defining at all. So by the name African American, we also see right now by what we just explained that there's no way that can happen. Number two, we're not defining ourselves by our struggle. You know, we conditions don't define me. Almighty God, Allah, created me and defines me. That's why we are asked in Key 1 of the Moorish Science Temple of America Quran questionnaire, who made you? And upon that question, who made you, is predicates who you are, who you truly are. You see? So we don't, as Moorish Americans, we don't accept any titles that allude to slavery. Negro, black, colored, African American, Indian, Ethiopian, any of these labels we don't accept. And we don't accept anything that alludes to any state of servitude.
Man, that's power, brother. That's powerful right there. I appreciate that.
I also wanted to say,
oh, sorry, I was running my mouth and realized on mute.
When it comes to identifying, right? We have to understand what's in a name and be very cautious as to how we attempt to identify ourselves in this governmental construct that we live in. Because these names mean something. And when you name yourselves and you accept certain names, you accept certain conditions. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught us that to allude to these particular names that allude to slavery, paraphrasing, warns the citizens to do or impose whatever they choose to impose upon us, because there is no law binding these people to any type of lawful respect for us as a people. So when we cling to certain names, it's not about, I never said that black is deaf, but I said black means deaf. Now we can understand, what it means in this society. So like I said, you can call yourself what you, like we said, you can call yourself what you want to call yourself in the shower.
Yeah, you can.
You can call yourself what you want to call yourself amongst your particular group of people. But we must be cautious of how we identify or strive to identify ourselves in the greater view of the nations, of the earth, and the government in which we live. And by the way, this term black was given us by slaveholders. We have to understand that. I mean, as much as, we are, I myself was very in tune with being black. I was one of the brothers who, I used to argue with my Moorish brothers at one point, and so I don't accept that title anymore. But at the end of the day, I do understand this. Everyone has the right to strive to identify themselves as they choose. So I don't force the title of Moorish or more upon anybody else who doesn't accept it. However, I share where I'm given the opportunity to share. And for those who do accept, the doors are wide open. And
let me land me back on that. And that was powerful. And because that's why Israel, so-called Israelites, always they say so-called black. Brown, shades of brown. But I'm gonna use three words because I think this is something that we all need to think about. That's Israel, Moors, whatever you call so-called black people, especially in any nation that we be in, because the world belongs to us, but we don't have control of it. So I'm gonna use three words. And I just want you brothers to follow me with these three words. One is house, the other one is power, and the other one is spots. House, power, and spots. Not in any particular order. And let me start with the house. Now, you in your place, I'm in my place, my brother DeBar is in his place. That's our house. We rule our house. Anybody come in our house, but if they not wanted, we would kill them. But we will also invite guests in our house. And everybody that steps in our house, we have rules because it's our house. We make the rules in our house, and it's our house. We're free to burn it or keep it clean. It's our house to protect and make it bigger because it's our house. So with these three words, I'm going to ask a question behind these three words. And you could answer them after I ask you 3 questions behind these 3 words. I describe what a house is to me. Now, I don't think any one of us will let anybody come in our house to rule our house. You can come in as a guest. We may feed you. We may clothe you. And we may take care of you when you're in need. But you can never, ever have control of my house. I'll give you an example. In America, they give us the right to vote in their house. But we can never, ever take over their house because we have a so-called black president, so-called judges. Now, I use the word house, voting, and all that. And I think it's our land. I think the word belongs to us. But this other word I like to use is power. This may be our land, but it's not our house if we don't have the power. Power is absolute. Power is being able to change at thou will. Power is being able to set rules at thou willeth. Power is being able to kill without being prosecuted. Power is being able to rape without being prosecuted. Power is being able to treat people unfairly without any repercussions. Power is being able to dictate, control other people's house. Now we have a private house. I just went down and explained to you what house means to me. But to have that power is something we don't have. And my final word before I ask the question, I use the word spot. Spots. And it's a story, a tale that I'm sure everybody heard. A river, a raging river, right? And you got a fox and a scorpion. Now, the fox can swim. Very good swimmer foxes are. And he's a very wise fox, because people call the fox wise. So the scorpion say, hey, fox, I can't get across this river. Can you let me ride on your back so I can get across the river with you? And the fox said, why would I let that happen? Because if I put you on my back, you're going to bite me. He said, why would I do that? If I bite you, we both going to drown. He said, the wise fox said, you know what? You're right. Climb aboard, scorpion. Climb aboard, snake. Climb aboard, lion, gator. Because all them animals you cannot tame. So the scorpion hopped on the fox's back. The fox got halfway and the scorpion bit his ass. And he said, why did you bite me, man? Now we both want to die. Some of these people can't change their spots. Then he asked the scorpion again, and here go the question. Man, why did you bite me? He said, because it's in my nature to bite you. And I'm willing to die because I can't change my spots. So my question to you, power is absolute. How can we have a house if we don't have no power? And the people that have the power say we can vote, but they can't change their spots. And it's in their nature. So how do we kill the scorpion, the lion, the gator, all of them? We don't have the power to change their spots to be in the house.
First and foremost, let me say, ones may have power in this house. Let me put it this way. I am not of the premise that I will allow ones to take what's mine and then sit back and allow them to continue to enjoy it or eat the bread off of my plate while I feed myself wind. So this house that we in, if they just so happen to have power up, or they may have established a room in that has become dominant. This is my house. And I'm not, and I don't feel as though I should completely give up all dominion or give up my fight in it. So a vote. Now, I'm glad that you spoke about voting. That's a very powerful topic. And you said we've never got control over their house. Well, I don't want control over their house. I want control over mine. I don't care nothing about their affairs. I care about my affairs. You know, in my father's house, mansion, there's many rooms. So therefore, yeah, you can have control over your room, as long as you ain't dictating or controlling mine. But here go the thing. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali in 1928, during a time where Negroes weren't even voting, brother. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali was able to galvanize over 3,000 Moors in Chicago and approach the polls, and were very instrumental in getting the first Asiatic congressman into office. Many of our people, not only on the local level, but on the national level as well. My point being is this. If you look into history, the European has done everything they can to keep our people away from the polls. Why do you say that, Seven? I've never go to the extent to take something away from a people that has no importance at all. We can trace ourselves back through history and see that the extent that these Europeans has gone to keep us away from the pole. But here it is. Now we don't have that problem. The problem is our failure to organize, in my humble opinion. Nothing I'm saying is wrong.
That's the fact. That's a fact.
You know, nothing I'm saying is law here. But our failure to organize, it's not about going and voting. It's about organizing the vote. Organizing the vote, directing the power. See, power is absolutely an illusion. It's nothing absolute about power. Because as the ethers change, as the conditions in the ethers change, so does this state of power change. So anything that changes and passes away, I couldn't see as absolute. Now we talk about force, that's another thing. Spots, the nature of a thing. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali said we can't change, you can't change the spots on a leopard. Just like one cannot change a man's decent nature unless his power extends beyond that of the great universal creator, Allah, Yahweh himself. And we know it doesn't. No one else has that power. So the point is, what are ones voting for? What direction are we voting in? And whom are we voting for? What's the agenda? Are we training our people to place our people in positions where they themselves can occupy the seats? Do we have any of our people of like mind even in the process or even in the running? And if we don't, how can we do what me and you are doing right now, is find the common goal and the common thread amongst those who are the candidates? You see, it's a science. It's called political science. It's a science to all of this. It's not something we just go and we all willy-nilly throw our little vote, and I vote for this dude, you vote for that dude, I got this thought, you got that thought. That's still chaos and confusion. We have to organize. See, that's why the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, I feel that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, you know, pay so much attention to organization. So voting is a sacred act amongst as it pertains to citizenship. Our house, this is my house. And I am going to continue to join the fight in reestablishing our presence and our power in our house. And I think that voting is a very important thing that all of us should consider learning to implement in a very strategic and scientific way. That's my spiel on that.
Now, let me say this. Let me land me back on that real quick. I want, and I'm with you on this, and we got to continue to build. But consider me poison.
Yes, sir.
But not to you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Consider me a trap, but not to you. And if we're going to move in the political field, we need to poison it. And we need to set traps. What I mean by that is this, my dear brother. The fox, the scorpion, the snake, the lion, right? I can't beat them physically, but I can poison them. I can trap them. And you get trapped, it's just that because they don't see it coming. A rat don't see a trap, he just see the food and he eat it.
Yeah.
Pow! Got him, right?
Yeah.
And then also a rat will see the food. We don't have to be a trap that kill him instantly. It could be the food, but it's poison.
Right.
Right. So I was saying, how do we change them? Right. And I know it's our house. Right. And the only way I know how to change them is us coming together. But we got to know a way, right? A way that we don't have to talk about here. It's how to poison the rat. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people hate the Uncle Tom, right?
Right.
But read the story of what a real Uncle Tom did, right? So we got to build. We got to do all that, right? But if we're going to have people in political power, we want them to have poison with them. And it's hard to find poison if people, you know, they put a little sugar in the poison. They dilute it with a little bit of water, right? And that's the big payoffs. Those are lobbyists, right? Who will pay off Al Sharpton, who will pay off a Jesse Jackson, who will pay off a Barack Obama, right? Who will pay off a Condoleezza Rice, who will pay off the president, the vice president of America, right? I'm not saying they pay it off, but I'm saying these people can be paid off, right?
Yeah.
Who would pay off a so-called I don't know who in the hell who told rappers that they speak for so-called black people, right? And then when they do truly speak out, those are the ones that they kill. Go ahead, my dear brother.
Well, the people told them they speak out for them.
Yeah, but those are the people that I said we can't deal with, because that's why I said we got to establish. Remember, I said earlier we have to establish a community with people like yourself, right? And I said all Israel, not Israel. You know what I mean? What I mean by that is somebody may look like you, right? May talk like you, right? But they don't have the same mindset as you. They're not you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Them people who support that, let them stay over there. Because the book I read, it says 2/3 of my people going to die. And the Most High said he's going to start with his people first. So for me, I want to continue to build with you in an aspect of, okay, this is our land, right? So give us a place of refuge to build, and we can move forward with that, you know. But I think we have to understand how to poison people, right? And to build and coming together, because I can vote, right? But I don't want to vote for the guy. See, I want you to do this for me here, right? And everybody that's listening, because I'm gonna do it for you. I'm gonna read a little more Noble Jew Ali. But it's a brother here, right? That he passed away. He died damn near 80 years old. His name was Marion Berry. He was a mayor of Washington, D.C. And he was held on earth. And he kept poison in his left hand and his right hand, right? They caught him using crack in the hotel, right? All kind. That man did a lot of dirt, right? But he made it to. They put him in office because he was out poisoning, right? He couldn't get paid off. Right, and he went in there, and this how good this poison was, bro. This poison went in the office. That look it up. The government from people from other states, congressmen and senators, took his power away from him. He didn't even have power of a recreation room, and he was the mayor of Washington D.C. That's because they had power to do that, and they told the people of Washington D.C. and I was one of them that voted. They told me that I didn't know what I was talking about, right? So they took his power from him. They said, how can these people put a mayor in office that was a crackhead or they caught using crack? We in Washington, D.C., right? We don't have the right to vote for a president. We can vote for a congressman. We can vote for a councilman, right? We can vote for our mayor, but we don't have the right to vote for the president of the United States. If you look at how the political parties are set up in black neighborhoods, I forgot how they call it. My dear brother probably can mention it, and I'm let you close out, my brother. How they set up with the popular vote, right, or a black neighborhood. Your vote is not as powerful because they some kind of way they take it away dealing with the numbers. The bar, you know what I'm talking about? What they call that? Oh man, I can't think what they call that. Right, where you can have the more numbers in one state. I got it. More like Massachusetts. They not as they don't have as many numbers as
representatives based on the based on their state
population.
Based on population.
Right. So you got more you got more people in your state, but you don't have more votes than Rhode Island or New Hampshire. You're like, why is that? Well, that's because their states maybe they got more of so-called this color right there. So
well that's that. Excuse me, I didn't mean to cut you off, brother.
No, go ahead, brother.
That's why I say that's why the Prophet Noble Jew Ali, and I keep bringing up the Prophet Noble Jew Ali because the Prophet Noble Jew Ali, he and then he's the Prophet Noble Jew Ali. I think I said enough. No, bro,
that's fine. That's fine.
That's why being able to understanding government, understanding the levels of government. You see what I'm saying? Okay, yes, to vote in any sense of the word is a special. However, what we do here, we focus more so on local government, right? More so because the president can say something today. You may not have to worry about the consequential repercussions or the effect of his words for months on end. However, your governor, your mayor make a law today, it's going to be on your neck tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? And I think, in my humble opinion, just by watching the effectiveness of local government, I think that local government should be our focus. Because, as you said, when we start thinking about, the numbers based on this and based on that, some certain things get outside of our initial control. However, that's why it's important, in my humble opinion, to start at ground level, right here in our local government, organizing within our local jurisdictions, even breaking it all the way down to your certain districts or your wards or whatever they're called in your respective state. You know, it start to organize us from the smallest organism up to the highest. See, that's one thing our people fail to do is that, and I say organize it because you even got to organize your thoughts. You see what I'm saying? You got to organize your desires. You can't desire to take off running and haven't even figured out how to stand up. So I think that if we start in our local government, we can affect local government a lot more and a lot faster and more effectively than we can affect any other area. You know, and to learn the effectiveness of participating in government. You know, a lot of us have never been to a city hall meeting, have no idea what it looks like, has no idea what it looks like to open and close a city hall meeting, what it looks like to even address a city council or anything. We don't know. We don't even know.
You know what? Let me say this real quick, brother. That's real quick. I'm sorry to cut you. And that's true because I used to go sit down at these meetings, right? Council members and all that. Because I was asked by a few people one time, "Why won't you run for council?" Right? I'm just releasing this to all y'all. You know, run for council. And I agree. And I'm gonna give you the last word. DeBar, I'm gonna let you say something after me, and I'm gonna give the brother the last word, and we're gonna close it out. And brother, thanks for coming on. You know, yes, and sir. I hope this was educational for everybody. And we can agree to disagree, but at the end of the day, we know we still got the same fight, and we're going to build on that.
Yes, sir.
We're going to for sure build on that. But I would say this in my closing. I let DeBar go, and I let you go, and I'll give everybody 2 minutes, 2 minutes and 2 minutes only. Right? That's my law. Right? Yes, sir. Right? So this is why I mentioned about power because and mentioned about house because we elected a mayor here in a place they call Chocolate City. Mm-hmm. And I dealt with local government officials here, right, in my ward. And I considered running for Ward 8, one of the wards I was living in Ward 7 I was living in. And I seen a place they call Chocolate City. And I seen how the state officials took all the power, and it reminded me of Oklahoma when we had power and they just come in. Well, they gave me, my mayor and Barry, and the people of Oklahoma the illusion of power, but they got the gun, right? So yeah, the president, you know, he deals with bigger issues locally, but it just seemed like it's hard to change them spots. You know, it's hard to change them spots, man, you know, because it goes back to their house. To me, their house, I get you. Because even if we win locally, you know, we'll elect certain people and then them people get paid off. Where I seen judges, everybody was happy to see Clarence Thomas be elected for the Supreme Court. You know, everybody's happy to see the lady right now is vice president, but you look at her record. You know, I just look at these things, and like Martin Luther King says, I believe I led my people into a burning house. A burning house, right? So I don't think it's about running, right? I think it's about coming up with a better solution. And this place, even though it's our land and the world belongs to us, right? But in what I believe the Most High is going to come back and destroy it, you know. But I think we have to think about poison. And poison is not necessarily talking about killing anyone, because I don't want nobody to think I'm some damn terrorist. Anything right? So I'm not talking about killing no damn body, you know.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? But we have to think on that level, man. And when I say poison, I'm talking about even our own, or who we think our own.
Yes, sir.
Because at the end of the day, the most people that's the top dog that's killing black people right now is black people.
Yes.
So-called black people.
Yeah.
Right. So solutions is the key, and recognizing, I forgot what they call it. If somebody keep on doing the same thing over and over and coming up with the same solution, right?
That's insanity.
It's insanity. So it's high time to become playing the marching, right? And we didn't vote it. I get it. We didn't vote it, but brother, I'm telling you, as a man that's in his 50s, and I watched a brother, Marion Berry, right? Please look him up. Go to YouTube and look up the story of Marion Berry, where he helped build Washington, D.C. D.C. was mapped out by a black man, right? The streets and everything, right? We built the White House.
Benjamin Banneker Bay.
Benjamin Banneker, right? We built the White House, slaves. Built the Capitol, slaves. Benjamin Banneker mapped it out, right? Marion Berry built all the high rises here, right? The city council was all black, right? We had black chief of police, assistant chief, black fire chief, had all that, man, all of it. And we didn't lose it because we didn't want it. We lost it because they freaking took it. All right, they took it. So let's work together. Let's come up with some solutions offline, and nobody has. I don't want to delegate no power to no one person. We have to move as a smooth like water, brother, like waves.
Yes,
but
sir.
Guess what? Them waves are moving, but it's one big ass ocean. It's one big ocean. You know what I mean? So the bar, I'm let you say something 2 minutes. That's my law, my brother. 2 minutes. That's my law. Give you the final stay too. The bar, you want to say something in closing?
Yeah, just real quick. I just wanted to bring out a point of clarification on the Marion Berry story. So he was entrapped. Actually, his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend, who he was really in love with, she wanted him to come to a hotel, and he was trying to be intimate with the woman, right? But she was an informant for the FBI, and so her condition upon the intimacy between those two was that he had to agree to take some crack, and he rejected it a bunch of times. Well, yeah, maybe he gave in to his weaker nature because he was craving the intimacy, or the possibility of intimacy with that woman that he was in love with historically. And so after some time passed, he said, "Okay, I'll do it." And he didn't even get a chance to do it. As soon as he had the FBI was right up in that bad boy. So it's interesting, man. But he was definitely a powerful figure in the black community, especially in the DMV area. And I just wanted to mention that because oftentimes we mean well, but there are many different powers working against our own interest. So,
right.
But brother, I appreciate you, the wisdom you shared here. I agree with a lot of what you said, my brother. And I pray nothing but the best for you, brother. And, I'm looking forward to our collaboration, building something, and really just helping our people, man. At the end of the day, it's about us. You know what I'm saying? So that's all.
Yes, sir.
No doubt. Thank you, DeBar. Sheik, say go ahead, my brother. Islam.
Peace. Yeah. Brother, it's a great discussion.
Hallelujah.
First and foremost, I give my honors and gratitude for y'all having me. And giving me an opportunity to speak in voice, have a voice on your platform.
Your platform.
Our platform. I honors and gratitude. I want to say honors and gratitude to the audience, to the listening audience. And again, I want to make this statement again, as I made it coming on. We're in the time right now, either we unify or we die. Life is about choices. I choose more life. And just to let you know, I just plugged in the motto for our water company, more life, pure spring water. So I just wanted to
No, hey, don't just do it. Tell us, brother. What is it? What is it about?
Oh yeah, we got more life, pure spring water. Me and another brother more. We went into business. We felt like, good clean water is essential for everybody, and the water in the soil and the air is being played with so much. When you find a source of good clean water, why not, assist in getting that to the people? So we decided to take it upon ourselves to create a water company. It's local now, but it's definitely expanding. So we do have more like pure spring water, and if we ever in your area, we'll announce, and we'll be on VA soon. If we ever in your area, make sure you tap in on my Facebook page. I'm Sheik 7 Islam, just like you see it on the screen right here. You can find me on Facebook by that particular name, even Instagram. So just look out for me. And again, I say honest and gratitude. I hope that anything that I said was beneficial to the people. I take no credit for anything that I said. I give all credit to Almighty God, Allah. And anything that I did say that way may not have been right, I take all of that upon myself, for Allah is the absolute, is the perfect. Within him is no unrighteousness, and I take credit for all my mistakes. I appreciate it to Brother Debar for his input, his encouraging words, and yourself as well, Brother Qanath.
Thank you,
man. It's been a blessing. It's been a blessing, brother. It's been a privilege, and I hope that we could do this again soon.
Hey, brother, thanks for coming on.
Yes,
I asked you, and you, without any hesitation, came on, and I hope everybody enjoyed our dialogue here. Uplifting and tough questions. Yes, and the brother's still strong. And respectful questions. I hope I didn't offend in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
No, sir.
But we have to talk like this at times.
Yes, sir.
That's how we build. My dad told me this one time. He said, "Man," and I'm not going to say a word. He said, "You can just guess." He said, "Man, it's something easy in life. Don't F with it."
Yes, sir.
Because there's no reward at the end. Muhammad Ali told his daughter this. He said, "Hey, look, baby," he said, "make a man work for you like he worked for gold. Like, it's hard. It's labor.
Right.
Work for diamonds. Right. It's hard. Right. It's labor. Work for silver, copper, iron. Right? It takes labor to get to that. Right? Diamonds. You know why? Because it's a precious jewel. And as a people, man, we're precious people. We're precious people."
Yes,
right?
Sir.
So we are the Jews.
Yes,
we are God's people. Right?
Yes, sir.
But we got to work hard at it, man. Hey, look, brother, thank you again. Most High bless you, your beloved family, your congregation. Man, I hope the Most High build you brothers and sisters up, and let's do work together. With that, I say shalom.
Shalom.
All right. Sam, I don't know if you're still listening. You could cut us off. I'm just going to end it right here. So I just say shalom to the family. Star, Lima, I just saw y'all in here earlier. Don P, Oracle, Most High bless you. Oracle, I see in the chat you be throwing the stuff out there, girl. I see you. Who else up in here? And Obadiah, Israel, everybody, man. Most High bless the haters, the lovers. It is what it is. Sometimes I love when people hate on me. Let me know I'm doing the right thing.
Yes, sir.
Shalom. All right.
Shalom.
Shalom, family.
Shalom. Islam.